Have you ever felt that your dream life is just slightly out of reach, as if it exists right beside you but on a channel you can't quite tune into? Maybe you have moments where you feel inspired, alive, deeply connected, and then almost instantly, life pulls you back into the same old routine, the same challenges, the same patterns. It can feel like you're running on a treadmill, you're moving, working hard, trying to grow, but somehow you're still standing in the same place. This feeling is not just random frustration, it's your soul's way of whispering that you are out of sync with the frequency of the life you truly desire. What if I told you that your dream reality, the relationships you long for, the abundance you've been manifesting, the health and peace you crave, is not years away, but just one frequency shift away? Imagine life as a giant radio station, broadcasting millions of channels at the same time. Right now, you are tuned into a particular station, one that plays the soundtrack of your current reality. Every thought you think, every emotion you hold, every belief you carry, is like a dial that keeps you locked on that station. The beautiful truth is that you can change the station at any time. You can tune into the reality that matches your deepest desires, and when you do, everything around you begins to rearrange itself to match that frequency. The reason most people never experience this shift is because they believe change is something that happens in the external world first. They think, when I get that job, then I'll be happy. When I find the right person, then I'll feel loved. When I have enough money, then I'll feel secure. But this is a backwards way of creating reality. In truth, reality responds to you. The emotions you are waiting to feel are the very keys to opening the door to the life you want. You do not wait for your dream life to arrive. You become a match to it first, and then it arrives. Think about the times you felt completely alive, maybe while listening to music that moves you, standing in nature as the sun sets, or sharing laughter with someone you love. In those moments, you were tuned into a higher frequency without even trying. You felt open, light, and aligned, and as a result, life seemed to flow. The problem is, for many of us, those moments are fleeting because we quickly slip back into worry, fear, and old subconscious programming. The task, then, is not to create something from nothing, but to sustain that higher frequency long enough for your outer reality to catch up. This video is going to guide you through that process, step by step. We will go beyond surface-level advice and dive into the science and spirituality of frequency, so you understand what is actually happening when you manifest. We will explore the invisible gap between your current reality and your dream reality, and why it exists. Most importantly, I will give you practical tools to tune into the energy of the life you want, not someday, but right now. You are here for a reason. You clicked on this video for a reason. Something inside of you already knows that you are capable of living a reality far greater than the one you are currently experiencing. This is not a coincidence. This is your higher self guiding you, nudging you, reminding you of the truth. You are not broken, you are not behind, and you are not powerless. You are a creator, you always have been. The question is, will you create by default, staying tuned to the same old frequency, or will you choose to consciously tune into the frequency of your dream life and watch as the universe rearranges itself around you? By the end of this video, you will not just understand why your dream reality feels out of reach, you will know exactly how to close the gap. You will feel empowered, calm, and ready to step into a version of yourself that has been waiting for you all along. So take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders and let yourself be fully present here, because your dream reality is not far away. In fact, it's closer than you've ever realized. And today, we are going to take the first step toward tuning into it. To truly shift into the life you desire, you first have to understand what frequency really means, not as a buzzword, but as a living reality. Everything in existence is energy. Your body, your thoughts, your emotions, the chair you're sitting on, even the device you're watching this on. All of it is made up of vibrating energy. Quantum physics has shown us that matter isn't solid, the way we once thought. Instead, it is made of tiny particles vibrating at specific frequencies. The entire universe is like a giant ocean of energy, and you are a wave within that ocean. When we talk about frequency in a spiritual sense, we are referring to the vibration you are emitting in this very moment. This is not some abstract idea, it is a measurable field. Scientists call it your electromagnetic field. It radiates several feet beyond your body, and it changes depending on your emotional and mental state. When you are stressed, fearful, or angry, your frequency lowers, and the field around you becomes incoherent. When you are grateful, joyful, and present, your frequency rises, and your field becomes coherent and harmonious. This is where science meets spirituality. Ancient wisdom has always taught that as within so without. The outer world is a mirror of your inner state. Your frequency determines what you notice, what you attract, and what you repel. Think of your frequency like a radio signal. If you tune your radio to 98.3 FM, you are going to hear whatever is being broadcast on that channel. If you want to hear what's playing on 104.5, you cannot just sit there wishing for it. You have to turn the dial. The same is true of your reality. You cannot be tuned into fear, doubt, and lack while expecting to receive abundance, love, and peace. The law of resonance explains this beautifully. Frequencies that match come together, while mismatched frequencies simply pass each other by. That's why when you are in a bad mood, everything seems to go wrong. Traffic lights turn red, people irritate you, and small inconveniences pile up. It isn't punishment, it's resonance. Your energy is a magnet, and it pulls toward you experiences that match it. The opposite is also true. When you are tuned into gratitude and joy, opportunities and synchronicities seem to appear out of nowhere. You meet the right people, you're in the right place at the right time, and life begins to feel like it's conspiring in your favor. But here's where it gets even deeper. Your thoughts are not just mental chatter, they are electrical impulses. Your emotions are magnetic. Together they form a powerful electromagnetic signature that is constantly sending out a signal to the field around you. This signal is what the universe responds to. It does not respond to what you say you want. It responds to the energy you are consistently broadcasting. This is why someone can say affirmations every morning but see no results, because deep down, their emotional state is still tuned to fear or doubt, which keeps them locked on the old station. This might sound discouraging at first, but it's actually incredibly empowering. It means you are not at the mercy of chance or circumstance. You have the ability to change your frequency in any moment. And when you do, the universe has no choice but to respond. The moment you raise your frequency, you stop resonating with old patterns, toxic relationships, and limiting opportunities. You literally become invisible to the things that no longer match your new state. Let's take a simple example. Imagine two versions of you, the current version and the dream version. The current version wakes up, checks their phone immediately, feels anxious and rushes into the day. This version is tuned into stress and scarcity. As a result, they attract more situations that confirm those feelings, missed deadlines, misunderstandings, moments of frustration. Now imagine the dream version. They wake up, take a few deep breaths, and set an intention for the day. They cultivate gratitude for even the smallest things. This version is tuned into calm and abundance, and as a result, their day flows with more ease. They notice opportunities, they handle challenges gracefully, and they feel supported by life. Both versions are you. The only difference is the frequency. This is why spiritual teachers have said for centuries that heaven and hell are states of consciousness, not places you go after death. Your frequency is the lens through which you experience reality. Change the frequency, and the entire movie of your life changes. Now some people hear this and think, so I just have to be positive all the time. But that's not what this is about. Frequency shifting is not about ignoring your pain or pretending everything is perfect. It is about becoming aware of what you are broadcasting and making conscious choices. You are allowed to feel sadness, grief, or anger. These are part of the human experience. The key is not to stay stuck there. Emotions are energy in motion. They are meant to flow. When you process them consciously and then realign with gratitude or peace, you naturally raise your frequency again. The good news is that you don't have to do this perfectly. Even small shifts can create massive change. Think of it like tuning a guitar. You don't have to twist the knob all the way, just a small adjustment brings it into harmony. Every time you choose a slightly higher thought, every time you pause and breathe instead of reacting, every time you focus on what's working instead of what's missing, you are turning the dial toward your dream reality. This understanding is the foundation for everything we're about to explore next. When you realize that your frequency is not fixed, that you can shift it intentionally, you stop being a passive observer of life and start becoming an active participant. This is the bridge between science and spirituality, the moment where you stop hoping for change and begin creating it. Now that you understand what frequency really is, we have to address the space you are standing in right now, the gap between your current reality and the reality you truly desire. This is the space that so many people find uncomfortable. It is where frustration lives, where doubt creeps in, and where most people give up before the breakthrough arrives. But this gap is not a punishment, and it is not evidence that your dream life is out of reach. In fact, this gap is sacred. It is the cocoon between who you were and who you are becoming. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to visualize where you are right now in life. Not from judgment, not from self-criticism, but from gentle honesty. See the patterns you have been repeating, the relationships that drain you, the beliefs that keep you small, the habits that hold you back. See the loops you've been running, the moments when you say this time will be different, but find yourself back at square one. This is not to make you feel shame. It is to bring the unconscious into the light, because the moment you see the pattern clearly, you are no longer trapped by it. Many of us are addicted to our current frequency without even realizing it. We become comfortable with the familiar, even if it is painful. The brain loves predictability, and so it repeats thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that it already knows. That's why you might keep attracting the same type of partner, the same type of job, the same types of challenges over and over again. Not because life is cruel, but because your energy is still tuned to the station that plays that old song. This is where the contrast becomes your teacher. Without contrast, you would never know what you truly desire. You would never know the sweetness of peace if you hadn't experienced chaos. You wouldn't value abundance if you had never tasted lack. Every experience you've had until now has been shaping you, clarifying for you exactly what you want to create next. So instead of resenting the gap, we begin to honor it as a necessary part of the journey. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine two versions of yourself standing across from each other. On one side is the current you, carrying all the weight of the past, the fear, the doubts, the habits that no longer serve you. This version is not wrong, not broken, just tired. This version has been doing the best they could with the level of awareness they had. See them clearly, thank them for surviving, for trying, for showing up every single day even when things were hard. Now, slowly shift your attention to the version of you standing across the gap, the dream version. They are glowing, they are grounded, they are living in alignment with their highest values, they are surrounded by the opportunities, the relationships, and the peace that you have been longing for. Watch how they walk, how they speak, how they breathe. Notice the way their shoulders are relaxed, the way their eyes shine with clarity. This version of you is not separate from you. They are the blueprint of who you are becoming. Feel the space between the two versions of you. That space is not as wide as you think. It is not years and years of hard work. It is one frequency shift away. The challenge is that the bridge between these two versions is invisible to the naked eye. It is made of choices, choices that seem small in the moment, but create massive shifts over time. Choosing to respond with calm instead of anger, choosing to pause and breathe instead of spiraling into worry, choosing to act on intuition instead of fear. Each choice moves you closer across the bridge, but let's also be honest, walking across this invisible bridge can feel uncomfortable. This is where the resistance shows up. Your mind might say, who am I to have that kind of life? Or what if I fail? Or what if I lose people along the way? These fears are natural. They are simply the echoes of the old frequency trying to pull you back into the familiar. The key is not to fight them, but to recognize them as signs that you are stepping out of your comfort zone. Remember, fear is not a stop sign. It is a signal that you are expanding. The gap is where you get to practice faith, not blind faith, but embodied faith. Faith that your frequency shift is real. Faith that the version of you saw in your mind's eye already exists in the quantum field, waiting for you to tune into them. Faith that even if you cannot see evidence yet, reality is rearranging behind the scenes. This is why patience is such a crucial part of manifestation. Seeds do not sprout the moment you plant them. There is a period of darkness, a period where it looks like nothing is happening, but underground, roots are forming. Your job is not to dig up the seed every day to check on it. Your job is to keep nourishing it with belief, with gratitude, with inspired
action.
If you can hold this awareness, the gap stops feeling like a place of suffering and starts feeling like a place of power. It becomes the place where you rehearse the energy of your dream life before it physically arrives. Each day in this gap is an opportunity to choose alignment over fear, expansion over contraction, creation over reaction. And here is the most beautiful part. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Your nervous system begins to adapt to the higher frequency. Your brain rewires. Your heart opens. Suddenly you wake up one day and realize that you are no longer waiting for your dream life to appear. You are living it, step by step, breath by breath. The bridge becomes the destination. Now that you can feel the gap and see the version of you waiting on the other side, it's time to bridge that gap intentionally. This is where the process becomes real, practical, and actionable. The truth is, tuning into your dream reality is not complicated. It is not about doing more, hustling harder, or pushing against life. It is about becoming more deliberate with your energy, about shifting your inner state so that your outer world begins to reflect that change. Think of this process as learning how to play an instrument. At first it might feel awkward and unfamiliar. You may have to pause and adjust, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes, until eventually it feels effortless, like music flowing through you. Let's go through the 4 steps that will help you tune into the frequency of your dream reality. The first step is awareness and detachment. Before you can change your frequency, you must know which one you are currently tuned into. Most people go through the day unconsciously reacting to life, repeating the same thoughts and emotions, without ever realizing they are reinforcing their current reality. So take time, maybe even right now, to notice what you are feeling. Are you anxious, rushing, distracted? Are you hopeful, calm, open? This simple act of observation immediately creates space between you and the old frequency. It is like stepping outside the storm and realizing you are the sky, not the clouds. Detachment doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending nothing is wrong. It means loosening your grip on the story you have been telling yourself about who you are and what is possible for you. Instead of saying, "This is just how life is," you begin to say, "This is simply the station I've been tuned to, and I can choose another." That shift in perspective is incredibly powerful. The second step is emotional recalibration. Once you have observed your current frequency, you get to consciously choose a higher one. This is where simple, daily practices make a profound difference. You can start with your breath. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep inhale, holding it for a moment at the top, and then release it fully. Do this 3 times, and notice how quickly your energy softens. Your breath is your direct line to your nervous system, and it is one of the fastest ways to reset your frequency. From there, move into gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest frequencies you can embody, because it tells the universe, "I already have. I already am." Even if life feels chaotic, there is always something to be grateful for: the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the chance to choose again today. The more you focus on gratitude, the more your brain begins to notice things to be grateful for. You literally rewire your mind to look for blessings instead of problems. Visualization is another powerful tool for emotional recalibration. Spend a few minutes each day imagining your dream life, as if it were already real. See yourself waking up in the place you want to live, feeling the way you want to feel, surrounded by the people you want to attract. The key here is to feel it in your body, not just think about it. Your brain does not know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, and when you generate those feelings now, you start broadcasting that new frequency into the field. The third step is embodiment and action. It's not enough to simply visualize and feel good. You must also begin living as if your dream reality is already here. This doesn't mean you need to have everything figured out. It means you begin to take aligned actions from the energy of the future you. If the version of you who already has their dream job wakes up earlier to meditate, start doing that now. If the version of you who feels abundant tips generously, practice giving in small ways today. Each action is a signal to the universe that says, "I am already this person." And when you take these small steps consistently, you collapse the gap between who you are and who you are becoming. Over time you build trust with yourself, and that trust becomes unshakable confidence. The fourth and final step is trust and surrender. This is often the most challenging part for people, because it means letting go of the need to control exactly how and when your dream life will arrive. But remember, your job is not to figure out the details. Your job is to stay in alignment. The universe has a way of orchestrating events far better than anything you could plan. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means handing over the weight of anxiety and replacing it with faith. When you trust, you allow life to flow. You stop micromanaging and start co-creating. You notice synchronicities, the right person calling at the right time, the opportunity that seems to fall into your lap, and you realize these are not coincidences. They are the natural result of being tuned into the right frequency. Now I want to invite you to try a short frequency reset exercise. Wherever you are, pause for a moment. Close your eyes if you can. Take a slow breath in, hold it for 3 seconds, and let it out with a sigh. Place your hand over your heart and think of one thing you are truly grateful for. It could be as simple as the warmth of the sun on your face, or the fact that you are alive in this moment. Let that feeling of gratitude fill your entire body. Smile gently. Stay in this state for a few seconds longer than you think you should. When you open your eyes, notice how the world feels just slightly different, softer, clearer, more aligned. That tiny shift is the beginning of tuning into your dream reality. The more you repeat these steps, awareness, recalibration, embodiment, and surrender, the more natural they become, and eventually, you stop trying to shift your frequency because it simply becomes who you are. Your default state rises. Your reality begins to reflect that shift effortlessly. As we come to the end of this journey together, take a moment to notice how you feel right now. You've spent the last several minutes not just listening to words, but shifting your state, becoming aware of your frequency, tuning it gently, and imagining the version of yourself who is already living your dream reality. This is not just information, this is transformation, beginning to take root within you. Your dream reality is not far away. It is not locked behind impossible doors or reserved for lucky people. It is right here, existing in the quantum field, waiting for you to match it. Every single day you have the power to choose the frequency you broadcast. Some days will be easier, some days more challenging, but remember, even the smallest shift matters. One moment of awareness, one deep breath, one choice to focus on gratitude. Each of these is a step across the bridge toward the life you are calling in. And you do not have to do it all at once. You do not have to be perfect. You simply have to be willing. Willing to catch yourself when you slip back into old patterns. Willing to choose a better thought. Willing to trust the process, even when you cannot yet see the evidence. This willingness is the signal to the universe that you are ready. So, as you go back into your day, I invite you to practice staying connected to the version of you we explored together. Let them guide your decisions. Let them be the voice that reminds you to breathe, to pause, to act from love instead of fear. Imagine waking up tomorrow and living as if your dream reality is already here, not pretending, but truly embodying the feelings, the actions, the gratitude of the future you. Life will begin to meet you halfway. You will start to notice synchronicities, the right words appearing at the right time, the right people entering your life, unexpected opportunities aligning perfectly. These are not accidents. They are confirmation that you are tuned into the frequency of your desires. If this message resonated with you, let this be the moment you commit to your shift. Share in the comments what frequency you are ready to embody today. Is it peace, abundance, confidence, gratitude? By putting it into words, you anchor it even more deeply. And if you found value here, consider subscribing so we can continue walking this journey together. Remember, you are not broken, you are not behind, and you are not powerless. You are a creator. Your dream reality is not in the distance, it is one frequency shift away. And now, you have everything you need to tune into it.